What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Healer Jeff. Alright, so I want to read you something that I wrote when I was working on a class. As y'all know, I'm in school, but I was getting distracted one day. I get distracted a lot when I'm busy because the thing about me is I can't do the normal things in life without my mind just trying to hook on to another realm. You know, I don't know what it's called necessarily. Maybe you guys let me know if you know what I'm talking about. But I just had to write some stuff down. And I start looking things up and researching, quotes, and I just get inspired. I get downloads. I get downloads. That's what I get. And then I get downloads to go, and like a message to go, I get a download to go, inspires me to think about something, and then it tells me go look it up and learn about it. And then when I learn about it, I find out more and more and more. So, all right, there's something I want to read y'all. All right, this is going to be a very deep, not a deep message. It's going to be a very heartfelt message, a very down to earth, a very like wake up. Now it's kind of harsh, but like you know what I'm saying, okay? It's a very open your eyes kind of message. Like you have to open your eyes. Please see this. All right, there's a book out there called The Five Wishes of the Dying, or Five Regrets of the Dying, something like that. I haven't read the book, but uh, I did read a condensed um, what's it called? Summary of the book, and these things stood out to me. All right, and I want you all to listen up. All right, think about what I'm saying here. If you want to understand life, you have to see the people who are dying. I'll say that again. If you want to understand life, you have to see or experience or encounter, or be close to the people who are dying. All right? Five regrets. Number one, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. All right, we're going to talk about each one. Number two, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Number three, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Number four, I wish I had let myself be happier. Number five, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. All right, so I'm going to briefly go over these real quick for you as I reflected on these probably like 2 weeks ago, but I just now wanted to share these with you. I had it in my stack of school papers here. The first one is I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. This is a very good message because I find that it reaches a very, very broad spectrum of people. In fact, this one sentence can help everyone out there. Um, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. Imagine someone laying on their deathbed, okay, or in the hospital or wherever they're passing, right? And they're saying, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. What does this mean? This can mean, like I said, it means a lot of things for a lot of people. For some of you, it could mean, I wish I had the courage to pursue my dream. And I wish I had the courage to love myself and trust myself that I could do it. All right? Instead of keep holding myself back and doing something else in life. I wish I had the courage to uh, do what my heart was telling me to do, whatever that is, right? You fill in the blank. Instead of being a follower, like a sheep, following the herd. I wish I had the courage to express my sexual orientation or the courage to express who I am to the world as you fill in the blank, gender, identity, sexual orientation. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who, um, I heard it before, what's it called, who are in the closet and they live their whole life that way, and they never truly get to be themselves because fear of judgment or whatnot. Or yeah, that could, you know, that's gotta be tough. All right. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. The way you speak, the way you act, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you dress. You know, a lot of times that I'm sure there's people out there who, based on their family and their culture and their friends, they feel judged if they wear something else or they have their own unique style they like. I've encountered this myself actually. This example I'm giving you. I like to wear hoodies and I like to wear beanies, especially when it's cold. But I like wearing hoodies with the hood on. I can't tell you how many times because that's just my style. I like it. I like wearing that with Air Forces, or I like wearing it with boots and jeans. It's just, you can't tell how many times I've gone in a public place or I've gone to work wearing the dress code, wearing the hoodie that is for the workplace. That the company is, has their own brand, right? And I can't tell you how many times people have asked, "Why are you wearing that? Are you cold?" Uh, oh, look who's coming, look who's clocking in stylish today. Well, I don't care what they think, but I'm saying is I know how hard it is that when you want to just dress the way you want to just be the style you want, you will get resistance because people will think it's weird or they don't like it or it rubs them the wrong way. Or if they truly don't care, they'll just want to pick at you and test you and stuff. So that's the number one. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. Honestly, guys, just do it anyway. Who cares? If you want to wear Crocs with basketball shorts, all right, I've never done that before, but I'm just throwing out a wild card right now. If you want to wear Crocs with a hoodie in 100-degree heat in the middle of Arizona outside with a beanie on, do it. The hell? Crocs, basketball shorts, a hoodie, and a beanie, right? If you want to wear um, a t-shirt when it's cold outside, or you want to put like a dress shirt on with, some pants that people think don't look good, just do it, man. Do it, girl. Just do it. All right. It just, another quote just came up to my mind. I forget who said it. Oh, Carl Jung. Carl Jung. I'm sure a lot of you all watching this know who Carl Jung is. His last name is Jung. Carl Jung, but it's pronounced Jung or something. He says that the greatest disease in the world is the greatest disease of mankind is to crave love from strangers. That ties into number one. So I hope that summarizes that. Number two, y'all. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. All right, this one is, well, let me talk about from a male perspective because I'm a male. I'm a guy. We're raised to not express our feelings and we're raised to just toughen up, and because we're men, people will disrespect us if we do talk about our feelings. Yes, that is true. Yes, when I was younger, I've actually been through that, all right? But as I got older, I learned to just keep it, just to be quiet, just to shut up. But people are lying on their deathbed saying, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Now, you got to look at the context here. I feel like the context for these people who are dying are more of like, they know that they're going to be disrespected or bashed on or not taken seriously or made fun of if they express their feelings. But apparently it's healthy. I'm not sitting here like a male guy saying, okay, men, break down and tell everyone your feelings and cave into your feelings and run your life on emotions like women do. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, once in a while, if something is very, very heavy and you've been bottling it up for a very, very long and you've been fighting that fight, it's okay to tell someone. It's okay to maybe, if you feel safe with somebody, to let them know. Another brother, on maybe a trusted spouse, or a girlfriend or someone who would not throw you to the dogs because you just express your feelings. And if you do express your feelings and they do not throw you to the dogs, then you know you got a keeper. Especially if you don't do it often. If you only express your feelings once in a very, very, very blue moon, and then the second you do it, you get thrown to the dogs, you know that person was not for you since day one. So I was telling you all this from a male perspective. Number three, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. A lot of us don't have friends. And the friends we do have are usually coworkers, but we don't see them outside of work. If you're like me, you got no friends because people like us, we can't have friends. All right. I've tried. It's just how it is. People, if you're built like me, if you're cut from my cloth, you don't have friends, and that's okay. I don't have friends, okay? Either. But for those of you who do, right, who are blessed and fortunate to have friends who care about you, who will, make sure you're okay, it's important to stay in touch with them. If something good happens in their life, don't get jealous of them. If something bad happens in their life, don't abandon them because they're down and out. All right. Number four, I wish I had let myself be happier. Man. Um, Again, I'm gonna speak from a male perspective. Then I'll try to speak from like a more generic, male and female perspective. But since I'm a guy, first and foremost, I gotta talk about this real quick. The manosphere. I'm sure you all know who uh a lot of these guys out there who talk about, you're like as a man, you're not supposed to be happy. If you're a guy watching this, maybe you've heard that. You're a man, life's supposed to be hard, and it is. Life is a challenge, it is. But maybe you've heard people say that you're never supposed to be happy as a man. Like, don't look for happiness. That's pointless. Um, all I have to say about that is you can't be unhappy your whole life. That is not reasonable and that is not realistic. You have to have at least some opportunities, some occasions in your life, even if it's just once every 5 years or once every decade, or that one day that you got that dream house, or you did that one day maybe you met your twin flame spouse or something. That's okay to be happy. Don't go through life chasing happiness though, because a life, what's the quote again? A life without purpose is a life of pleasure, and that leads you straight to hell. So I wish I let myself be happier. In other words, these are people who are dying, who probably never ever ever allowed themselves to just sit back in that space, hold space for themselves, and be happy once in a while. Please, it's okay to be happy as long as you're not chasing pleasure. All right, and that I know is true. Number five, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Welcome to the United States of America, where everybody works to live. No, everybody lives to work. That one is tricky because a lot of people have families, and the cost of living and the economy right now. A lot of people, I don't have a family, but I know for a fact, you know, a lot of people out there who do, whether they're single parent, double income parent, man or woman, it doesn't matter. Even if they're not even married, they're on their own. Um, I'm fortunate that I live with people, so I don't have to necessarily work my tail off 80 hours a week. But there's people out there who do, and they have no choice. And apparently, people who lay dying are saying, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And what that tells me is, now, I don't know the context of it though. Are these people who are dying who had to work hard and they still wish they hadn't worked hard? Or these are people who were comfortable but they just chased success and chased money and they worked hard because that's all they wanted to do? Either way, I think that it's a challenge because if you're a single person, adult in your life, and you're not married, you don't have kids, you don't have any family, that's usually what people do when they're like that. If they're single, they're smart, they're well rounded, they're successful, they have a good education, they went through all the lessons, they learned everything. They spend the rest of their life working and leveling up, getting more money, more promotion, working, leveling up, more money, more opportunities, leveling up. Whatever people do with their money, I don't know. But I'm saying in terms of work, they work, work, work until they get to the top or very, very close to the top. And then they network with people who are at the top and then who almost are at the top. And the cycle, and that makes them want to work even more and work even harder because they don't want to fall behind their peers. So it's like it's a cycle. And you know, apparently people who lay dying inside, which I don't work so hard because at the end of the day they realize that all that money, all that time they spent with the company or with the corporation or with whoever organization they were with, it didn't really help them develop as a person. All it helped them develop was their pockets, maybe, you know. And if they had a family and they had to work, 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 it's possible that they didn't spend enough time with their family, and as they're dying, they regret that. But like I said, number 5 is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. As always, take care. Be safe out there. Thanks for tuning in. Support the channel, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Thank you.